moving on to our next film, which is another sort of, it's not another older film, but it's a first of sort of, I mean, I don't want to say older because this film came out in 2003. We got Master and Commander, The Far Side of the World. I'm just going to refer to it as the Master and Commander because Master and Commander, The Far Side of the World might be one of the longest fucking movie titles in history. But anyway, Master and Commander, if you're unfamiliar with the film, it's about this British warship in Napoleonic War times that is sort of contracted or assigned to track down and hunt and hopefully take this French warship called the Acheron. That's sort of in the locations near South America, and I think they're not supposed to follow it past Brazil. At least that's revealed by the captain, who was Jack Aubrey, played by Russell Crowe. I don't know why I blanked on his name. So like I said, it stars Russell Crowe. Also stars Paul Bettany as the ship's doctor, which I was kind of surprised by. But it's directed by Peter Weir and written by it's written by Peter Weir as well, the screenplay, but it's based off of a series of novels by Patrick O'Brian, which detail the naval career of this Jack Aubrey, who was an English naval captain who in real life. And so this one little like naval, excursion, I guess, was detailed in a series, and I think it's like over a span of 3 of his novels about Jack Aubrey, which I thought was really cool. I don't know how historically accurate it is, but, this film has been built up to me by a couple of my friends saying that this film is spectacular and really awesome. I don't know why I haven't really watched this film. I guess maybe it's in terms of availability or something, but, unbeknownst to me, it's available on Amazon Prime, so there's no fucking excuse for me not to watch this, and so I did. But I watched this film having extremely high expectations because this film, again, has been built up to me heavily. And it's a relatively older film from 2003. I mean, it's kind of crazy that a film that came out in 2003 is considered a relatively older film. I mean, it is 18 years old, but I mean, a relatively older film is fucking younger than me. So, yeah, holy shit. I guess I'm relatively old too. I mean, I'm not. I'm 24. I mean, I'm not that old. I'm not old at all. But anyway, like I said, going into this film, had huge high expectations for this one. I mean, like, I think this film has a pretty high Rotten Tomatoes score. I mean, I'm pretty sure it won I don't know, it didn't win Best Picture, but I'm pretty sure it was nominated for Best Picture. So, I mean, it's not really an underrated film. So, but just getting into it, the film kind of does everything right and definitely met my extremely high expectations. The story is very simple. Like, it's exactly what I just told you, and it outlines that like in some subtext in the very beginning of the film, overlaying an awesome shot of the HMS Surprise, which is the ship that you follow, captained by Jack Aubrey. It's very simple, and it gets straight into it. Like, straight into it. The opening scene is them finding the Acheron, or like running into it, which is, the opening scene's really great, but it doesn't waste any time, which I really appreciated, especially from a film that's kind of this long run time of 2 hours 20 minutes. But yeah, so I really appreciated, I just in general really appreciate films that just get right into it, and this one definitely does. The character development is done without any type of like almost sit down and spew out character development scenes. I mean, there is a couple, but I mean, like, again, it's done in such a way that it feels organic, and how like this is how characters would actually talk in these certain types of situations, which I really appreciated. And it just I don't know. It just seemed very real, I guess, which is something that we'll also be bringing up later, the concept of realism. But the acting ensemble is spectacular, is really, really surprising. I mean, obviously, the two main characters really stand out with Russell Crowe and Paul Bettany, both delivering amazing performances. I loved both of them in this film. They were both fantastic. But every other character, all the side characters, the child actor that's in it does a fantastic job. Pippin from Lord of the Rings is in a minor role, and I thought that was really awesome. I was like, oh, dude, Pippin from Lord of the Rings, sick. I thought that was really sweet. But, yeah, acting ensemble is definitely awesome. But I think the best compliment I can really give this film is, like I said before, how goddamn real it feels. I mean, just the dialogue and the terminology by all, the crew members and, the command members and just, the seamen, the seamen, okay? Jesus Christ. But, yeah, this, like, the dialogue and the terminology are, spoken like they would actually speak in those type of times. The instruments that they use to, like, calculate speed and depth of their ship is really cool. The type of superstitions and crew dynamics that the crew of the HMS Surprise has to deal with is really cool, and I feel pretty realistic of how I'm sure naval people would actually be on cruise ships, like, warships back in those days. Just the practical effects and the action scenes are spectacular. It really adds to the, like, I mean, like, almost grittiness to, the action and naval battles in the scene. Probably the best naval battles I've ever seen put to screen. Ever. I mean, I couldn't really tell if CGI was, I mean, obviously CGI is used in some scenes, especially during one scene in particular. It does kind of stand out a little bit, but it was like one scene, and like that, it's like barely fucking used. I mean, the ship that they're on is a real ship. It's the actual HMS Surprise, which is awesome. I thought that was really cool. But yeah, just so the practicality and the, like, the sparing use of CGI, and even when they use CGI, I mean, I only kind of caught it one time. So if they used it more than just once and during one scene, I mean, I didn't see it. I couldn't tell. So I also loved how we just kind of stuck with the British warship and didn't see any type of perspective from the French warship, which I thought was cool. There's like a couple of times where, like, there's a shot of our English warship that we're following from, like, a telescope that's, on the French Acheron, which I thought was really cool. It kind of, like, built a lot of suspense there. And just the continuing attention to these small details throughout the film is just really cool. It's just, oh man, like, I didn't realize that was a thing. Oh, that's really cool. And that would be consistently me, like, saying out loud, like, oh man, that's really cool that they, actually took into account that. I thought that was really cool. And that was just consistent throughout the entire runtime of the film, which I thought was awesome. I also loved how they built up this, like, French warship, the Acheron. I mean, first off, badass name for a warship, but how it's like, it's bigger, it's better, it's faster than the main English warship, and the crew of the HMS Surprise definitely find that out in the very beginning of the film. But yeah, it just really builds it up, and it really enhances the suspense and, like, the thrills when shit does go down. If you don't think shit goes down in this film, shit goes down in this film, whether it's, through naval combat, which, like I said, best probably naval battles I've ever seen in a film, or dealing with the elements, or dealing with a crew superstition and, like, just other crew relation dynamics that the Surprise has to deal with, was also really great. And final, awesome part of the film is just, it's technically flawless. like down to cinematography, the sound design. Oh, the sound design is so good. Visible orgasm on my face when I'm watching. I'm like, oh my god, the cannons sound so good. Stumbling over my words. The sound design is so good, but the editing and just the direction, the acting performances, it's just so amazing. Just again, I couldn't. It's great. It pretty much does everything right. I mean, is it a perfect film? Probably not. I mean, it does kind of revert back to this like Moby Dick type of cliche formula for the captain, like, oh, we have to capture and take the Akron, it's at all costs, willing to sacrifice his crew and the ship just to, one last fight with this thing. I mean, it doesn't fully commit to that, which I actually liked. I was like, okay, we got some sense here. But it does have that cliche to it a little bit, I guess. And also, the film is quite long. I think specifically it has a 2 hour, 18 minute runtime. It's like, again, it's like 2 hours, 20 minutes. I think that's including credits. So it's a bit long, but not too long, really. But maybe there's a couple parts that you could have cut out, but I mean, whatever. I'm just kind of nitpicking at this point. I mean, other than that, I can't really find anything else wrong with it. So overall thoughts, I mean, it's spectacular. It's fucking awesome. I mean, like I said, best naval battles ever put to screen I've ever seen. And it's made back in 2003, which, like I said, relatively older film. But, I mean, just really great if you're a really big fan of colonial war type of battles or like naval battles and the history behind it. Definitely watch this one. I mean, I'm sure you have. I don't really know how historically accurate this film is. I didn't really look at it because I don't really think it really matters. It's just a really entertaining story. Like I said, kind of different from that, the Trials of the Chicago 7, how I believe historical accuracy kind of matters a little bit more with that film because it's politically charged and has a political message to it that's kind of relevant to modern day. This one doesn't have a political message to it and it's not relevant to modern day. It's just a really cool, entertaining naval battle film. And you can just appreciate the filmmaking. And it's great. So, honestly, I think in general, it's just kind of a must-watch. Does it got the movie magic, though? Yeah, it has the fucking movie magic. I mean, a little bit of a spoiler. Every film that I'm going to be talking about it in this episode is going to have the movie magic. But this one also especially has the movie magic. So, yeah, like I said, best naval battles I've ever seen. Just watch it, Master and Commander. It's the shit. It's available on Amazon Prime. Hello there. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you're unfamiliar with this channel, this is Nerd Out Sanctuary. I'm your host, Michael. What do I talk about, you say? Well, I talk about anything nerdy. So that's movies, video games, TV shows, comic books every once in a while. Books, maybe not, I don't know. Anything that I feel like talking about. I'm a huge nerd. I hope you're a huge nerd, and I hope we can enjoy our nerdiness together here. This is a full audio podcast available on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, the major podcast platforms. So consider going over to those and checking out the full version of of the episode. And other past episodes, please leave me a review and subscribe on those platforms. If you don't want to do that, clipped, shorter versions of those full episodes will be posted here on YouTube. So consider subscribing and liking the videos for more to support me and future content that I will be producing in the future on nerdy stuff. So yeah, thank you, and see you on the next one.